Once upon a time, in a quiet little town in Ohio, there lived a girl named Sara. Sara grew up in a warm but traditional home. Her father worked long hours at a factory, and her mother spent her days cooking, cleaning, and taking care of the family. They were good people, loving people, but they had one belief that was passed down for generations. A girl's real home is her husband's home. Everything else is temporary. So Sara grew up learning to cook perfectly, to keep a clean house, to smile politely, and to never ask for too much. She was bright. Her teachers always said so. In high school, she had a talent for art. She could look at anything and turn it into something beautiful on paper. Her art teacher once told her, "Sara, you have a gift. You should study design." But when she brought it up at home, her father smiled gently and said, "Beta, focus on being a good person. Life will take care of itself." So Sara listened. She always listened. She finished high school, did a short computer course her uncle suggested, and worked a basic data entry job for 2 years, not because she loved it, but because it passed the time until the right proposal came along. And then, at 24, it did. His name was Adnan. He was charming, well-dressed, and confident. He spoke about the future like he already owned it. Sara's parents loved him immediately. The wedding was beautiful, and for a while, so was the marriage. Adnan told Sara she didn't need to work anymore. "I'll take care of everything," he said. And it felt romantic. It felt like love. So Sara stopped working. She cooked, she cleaned, she decorated their apartment beautifully. She became the perfect wife, the one her mother had always raised her to be. But slowly, quietly, things began to change. Adnan started coming home late, then later, then sometimes not at all. When Sara asked questions, he told her she was being dramatic. When she cried, he told her she was too emotional. When she tried to talk, he walked out of the room. He controlled every dollar in the house. Sara had to ask for money to buy groceries. She had to explain every purchase. She had no access to any bank account, no savings of her own, not even a debit card with her name on it. She felt herself disappearing, slowly, quietly, like ink fading from a page. Then, one cold November morning, Sara woke up and Adnan was gone. Not just gone from the house, gone from her life. He had cleaned out the joint account, left a note that said, "I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore," and disappeared. Sara was 32 years old. She had a 2-year-old daughter named Ava. She had $43 in her purse, no job, no savings, no marketable skills, and no idea how to even log into the electricity bill account because Adnan had always handled it. She didn't even know the Wi-Fi password. That night, after putting Ava to sleep, Sara sat down on the cold kitchen floor. Bills were spread all around her. The apartment felt enormous and terrifyingly silent. She looked at her daughter's baby shoes sitting by the door, tiny, pink, with little stars on them, and something inside her shifted. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, deeply, like a door closing on one version of herself and another one, a stronger one, waiting on the other side. She whispered to herself, "I will never feel this helpless again." And that was the moment Sara truly began to live. The next morning, she made a list, not of everything that was wrong. That list was too long and too painful. She made a list of everything she could learn. The first thing she learned was money. She downloaded a free budgeting app. She called the bank and opened her own account, just her name, no one else's. She watched YouTube videos about budgets, expenses, savings, and credit scores. She learned what an emergency fund was. She learned the difference between an asset and a liability. It was overwhelming. It was embarrassing. She was 32 years old, learning things a teenager should know. But she learned anyway. Because a woman who understands her money cannot be trapped by anyone. The second thing she learned was a skill the world would pay for. She remembered what her teacher said all those years ago. You have a gift. She opened her old sketchbook, then she found free design tutorials online. She learned Canva, then basic Photoshop. She practiced during Ava's nap times. She stayed up an hour after Ava fell asleep every single night. 3 months later, she posted her first service on a freelance website. Logo design, $30. A small bakery owner messaged her. She was so nervous her hands were shaking. She did the job, she delivered it. The woman replied, "I love it, you're so talented." Sara went to the bathroom, turned on the faucet so Ava wouldn't hear, and cried, not from sadness, but from something she hadn't felt in years: pride. Because a woman with a skill always has a way forward. The third thing she learned was how to manage her emotions, because the hardest part wasn't the money or the work. The hardest part was 2 a.m. when Ava was asleep and the apartment was silent and the fear crept in like cold air under a door. What if I fail? What if I can't do this? What if I'm not enough? Sara started journaling, just 5 minutes a day. She wrote down everything she was scared of, then she wrote down one thing she was grateful for that day, even if it was just, "I got out of bed." She found a free meditation app and used it every morning for 10 minutes before Ava woke up, and she made herself one rule. Every time panic hit, she would ask herself one question: what is the one thing I can control right now? Sometimes the answer was just, make the bed. So she made the bed, and then she did the next thing, and then the next. Because a woman who can control her mind can survive anything the world throws at her. The fourth thing she learned was her voice. Sara had spent her whole life saying yes when she meant no. Yes to keep peace. Yes to avoid conflict. Yes because she was taught that a good woman is an agreeable woman. But she started practicing something new, small at first. She told her mother she couldn't come visit every single weekend. She needed that time to work. She told a client his budget was too low for what he was asking. She told a friend who always called to complain that she needed to protect her energy right now. She said no, and the world didn't end. In fact, people respected her more, because when Sara said yes, they knew she meant it. Because a woman who knows her boundaries knows her worth. The fifth thing she never stopped doing was learning. Every month she learned something new, a new design skill, a new business concept, a new way to invest even $10, a new book, a new idea. She stopped seeing herself as someone life had happened to and started seeing herself as someone actively building something. 2 years after that night on the kitchen floor, Sara was running a small but steady design business from her home. She had moved into a smaller but cheerful apartment. Her apartment, in her name, paid with her money. One Saturday morning, Ava, now 4 years old, climbed onto the chair beside her while Sara worked on her laptop. She looked at Sara's screen, at the colorful logos and designs, and said with big, serious eyes, "Mama, I want to make pretty pictures like you." Sara pulled her daughter close, kissed the top of her head, and said, "Then I will teach you everything I know." She wasn't perfect. She still had hard days. She still got scared sometimes. She still missed the idea of what her marriage was supposed to be. But she was never again the woman on the kitchen floor with $43 and no idea how to survive. She had built herself, slowly, painfully, beautifully, skill by skill, day by day, choice by choice. And this story, Sara's story, is not just hers. It belongs to the young girl who thinks she has time to figure it out later. It belongs to the married woman who quietly gave up her dreams to keep the peace. It belongs to every single mother sitting in the dark wondering if she is enough. You are enough. You have always been enough. Now it's time to make sure the world and you yourself know it. Learn your money, learn a skill, manage your mind, use your voice, and never stop growing. Because the most dangerous woman in the world is not the loudest one. She is the one who quietly decided she would never need saving again.